Hey guys, it's Monday. Welcome to SJU. It's a pre-tape because we live in a weird reality where the guy that makes the show work has to go do things with his family, and we let him. So we pre-tape this on Friday. We're just going to talk about weird Hollywood jobs that we've had because I'm running out of ideas as the producer of this show. It was either this or we were going to talk about whether or not you're going to risk Corona to go see Tenet for the millionth time, and I think our vote is all still no. So I don't know what else to say about that. I'm joined by Spencer J. Gilbert. Spencer, are you going to go see Tenet and risk coronavirus?
I'm going to wait for the reviews to come out.
Okay, waiting for reviews. And Billy Business, welcome back to the show. Are you going to go see Tenet and risk the coronavirus?
I will have a child by then, so I don't think I'll be seeing anything.
That's very true. That's very true. So yeah, there we go. No more to say on Tenet and whether or not it should be delayed. We're going to talk, just kind of shoot the crap a little bit about just weird Hollywood jobs we've had.
I can always tell how busy everyone else is by being asked to do this show now. That's how I gauge if it's a busy day or not.
I don't know how you get out of doing it. Do I just say I'm busy and provide no actual excuse?
You are allowed one busy a week.
Okay.
And any more than that, and I will have a panic attack. Billy, the other reason you were asked to do this episode, yes, folks are busy, but also you have a treasure trove of weird Hollywood stories from all your weird, bizarre jobs working in this industry, and that's why you're here, man. Because you're the ringer for this episode. But Spencer, you're the enigma. You're the Sphinx. Let's start with you, man. What's a weird gig you've had in this bizarre industry?
I can start off with a good one. I was a director's assistant. He made commercial. He has made movies. His name's Jesse Dillon. He did How High, famously, and The Big Green, I think. But I didn't work for him when he was doing any of his movies. He got most of his work as a photographer and a commercial director and music videos and stuff like that. So I got to be the on-set director's assistant / he knew that I wanted to write, so he would let me pitch some stuff. But I was on a Toyota commercial starring Fabio, Toyota Thon to be specific. It was their annual Thon.
Thon.
And while I was not assigned this task, so I guess I'm lying. This isn't even my job, but I witnessed this. This was a PA's job for the day to crouch down in the passenger seat of, let's say, what's a Toyota? A Corolla. In the passenger seat of a Corolla, and angle a small box fan up at Fabio to make sure that when they yelled action, his hair was going full force and waving in the wind. So there was this Fabio, golden bronzed god in the driver's seat, and then crouched a sad PA with dreams of making it in Hollywood, holding their box fan, and me getting water for my boss or whatever.
That PA was Steven Spielberg. That's amazing. Do you remember if Fabio was critical of the fan angle?
No, he was a gentleman. He was
nice to hear.
He was perfectly sweet to everybody. As far as but interaction is slim to none when you're an assistant with Fabio.
True. Yeah. No icon. There's probably no. Fabio was probably very nice to him. The people around Fabio were probably very mean to that PA. Don't you look at Fabio.
It was just awkward for everyone involved.
Yeah. No.
Hey. Hi.
Hi, Fabio. Does he have a last name?
No.
Did you find out?
I think it's just Bio. I think it's Fa.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Bio. We're even on set. Billy, have you ever had a Fabio interaction? You've had a lot of weird celebrity
I've had so many strange ones. I've never had the pleasure of meeting the Can't Believe It's Not Butter guy. It's never happened for me. So no Fabio stories.
But you have had some weird ones, because I know you used to work the con circuit really heavily, and
yeah, the Rolodex of where do I start? So this is one, because I feel like I've told so many of these, but this is one I'm pretty sure I never told. hopefully he doesn't mind me telling the story now. But when Jason David Frank, who played the green/white Power Ranger, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, when I first worked the con circuit, we didn't get off to the best start. We didn't like fight or anything. It's just like there was some miscommunications going back and forth between the two of us. And it was just kind of like we kept each other at arm's length. But then there was one show in Atlanta, and it was like half staffed than usual, just because that market was like a really hard market to get into with Dragon Con already there. So we didn't sell a ton of tickets, so we only took half the staff. So it was kind of like skeleton crew, but he was there, and we sort of started to like warm up to each other there. And I remember one night, he was always like staying late. He was the that celebrity that you hear about that's like, he will wait until every last person in line gets their autograph, even if the show closed a half hour before. And I don't care if we had 1 million people or 10 people, they were all in JDF's line every single time. Like he just knew how to like talk to his audience. So he had stayed late, and I had stayed back with a couple of other staff members. So he was leaving, and I was like, hey, I'm going back to the hotel too. I'll just get an Uber XL for us. And it was an Escalade. It was a black Escalade. But there was a couple of Escalades parked right outside of the convention center. And so after a couple minutes, he walks up to one. And this was, by the way, like 2014. So like Uber wasn't as like widely used as it is now. But he walks up this Escalade, and he opens the door, and he kind of peeks in, and he goes and closes it. And I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like stop being a little wimp. Like, that's our car. Just tell them
you
that
won't
it's
open
me.
your own door. How dare
I was like,
you?
just tell them that you're with me. You don't need to be a celebrity right now. And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm getting in our car. So I just, with no preconception of the world around me, I just opened the door with my little Wizard World t-shirt and my little laptop bag. And I just opened the car door, and I sat down. And I was like, yeah, it's the hotel. And there's just 3 guys. 2 of them are in suits, and one's in a leather jacket. And they just look at me. I was like, is this the wrong car? And then the car door opens, and JDF literally pulls me out, slams the car door, and like drags me across the deep. He's like, dude, that is a drug deal. That is not our car. There's literally a drug deal happening in there. Like, stay away from that car. Yeah, the payoff visit is great, other than I wish I would have stayed in the car just a little bit longer for comedic purposes now. But yes, JDF rescued me from a drug deal in a black Escalade outside of a Comic-Con.
Wow.
It's also just nice to know that he's a hero, even if he hasn't morphed. That's
yeah, he was a hero all along.
I just love like the sheer like, he doesn't know what he's doing, and then I just went in the car.
What I love about that story is like, I have been herded by Billy before, right? Like, I know exactly the Billy that's like, just get in the car. Like, I have
just do it. I feel like sometimes, especially when you're in like a producer or whatever mindset, people just like, it's like Disneyland. Like, I love you guys, but sometimes you're just like, I'm like, just go. You don't have time to think. I'm thinking for you. And that backfired on me.
Interesting on his part that he immediately recognized that it was a drug deal.
You know what? Like, there must have been like suitcases or something that led him, or just the fact that there were 3 other dudes in a car that we ordered that were not with us. Maybe that was quick enough to put 2 and 2 together.
They weren't the driver, the co-pilot, and the navigator.
Right. I just sat in the car. I was like, oh, I don't know what's happening here.
I feel like you sat down into a big drug deal too, because
I know it's not even like a small time thing. If
you wear suits to the big ones.
Yeah, I know. I feel like maybe that's where I would have gotten the Billy business name, because
you almost wrecked a DEA sting.
You do business when you go into an Escalade with suits.
I do love the idea that maybe you ruined a DEA sting. That's pretty solid.
Oh, I know. I wonder. I am obviously like, I was terrified at that point. I think I canceled the Uber, and we ended up walking back to the hotel. I was just like, I just want to get out of here. I'm gonna get shot.
What's gonna be in the next car?
I was like, I'm not dying in Atlanta with the Power Ranger. It's not happening this way.
Mine is my weirdest one is when I first moved here, and it's also a dumb like hindsight story where you're just like, oh, sweet baby Joe. But when I first moved here, a buddy of mine was like, hey, a friend of a friend has this feature script that's got money behind it. They're going to get made. They need people to rewrite it because it's not very good. And I pitched you, and do you want to work on this? And I was like, yeah. You know, you like, I'd been here for like 3 months, and you're just desperate to kind of get your foot in the door. And the weird backstory was it was this guy in the Bay Area, and his experience was like he made commercials for like his family's frozen food business. And he had made one feature, and he wanted to make this one. And somehow he got connected to a script that was written by a retired Navy officer's nephew, and the Navy officer was putting all the money behind it, and that's how we get here. So he's like, yeah, come like read the script and then come by and like shoot me your ideas. And so he gave me the script. And Spencer, I think I've told you this story. The feature script was 25 pages, which is short.
That's all you need.
It was like a movie about like a Navy SEAL that returns home and his town's overrun by a biker gang. He's got to keep town, which honestly right up my alley. But like in those 25 pages, there were like, I think like 18, let's call them acts of sexual assault.
Oh.
Because quote, you have, how else are you going to know that they're bad guys? So like I go
don't
like,
tell it, isn't it? It's a visual medium, Joe.
Who do I root for? Oh.
Spencer, you have a weird filter on your mic. You have like a giant echo.
Oh.
Will you announce baseball just like before you fix it?
Coming up to the plate, second base, Joe Starr. What's your walk-up music, Joe?
Actually, the rapper Open Mike Eagle wrote a song about the anime character Joe Starr, and so now that's my walk-up music.
Okay.
It's great, and everyone should listen to it. But so I go to like pitch to this guy, and he at his apartment, and he's in a futon, like getting a tattoo from one of his buddies, like while I pitch what I would do with the script. And
that buddy, Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg. Wait, Joe, can I just ask real quick? When you read the script and you saw it's pretty horrifying, no red flags went off like, maybe this isn't the best idea?
I was an idiot. Look, this was very dumb, baby Joe. Look, I should have been like, I should have walked the moment they were like, we'll figure out how to pay you. I should have walked. But at the time, you're like, oh, this is how you get in the business. So I was like, okay, let's fix the script. I talked them down on the number of assaults, which I was very proud of. And to their credit, I was like, this is so B-movie. Let's just lean in and make this the most straight to DVD, like B-movie. And so we rewrote it, and it actually like got a little like pro wrestler Rob Van Dam signed on to do it, and like Rosie Perez.
Whoa.
And like kind of a nice who's the guy, not the guy, the sidekick from Walker, Texas Ranger, his buddy that like played the sheriff.
Yeah, this is like a Redbox Hall of Famer.
Oh, Redbox Hall of Fame. I was honestly so excited about that. They were like, we're chatting with Kevin Nash. And I was like, this is going to be gold. And then what ended up happening was the guy did a premiere for the movie he had already made at what was it called, like Cine Lounge, or one of those skeezy like little movie houses that used to be open around Hollywood and Highland, or Hollywood and Vine. And it was so bad. It was so bad everyone walked. And like the guy that was producing it was like, hey man, I know you want to direct a movie, but maybe you should produce this and we'll find another director. And he was like, I'll make my movie my own way. You'll see. And he walked, and it has not been made, to my understanding. But my payment that they eventually figured out was, again, his family ran a frozen food company, and they gave me, I think, like 3 crates of frozen pork buns. was famous for writing this movie. That, to my credit, I upgraded to include a riding mower joust, which I was very proud of. But yeah.
What? You challenged him to a joust?
Yeah, like there was a guy on a motorcycle and all that was near him was a riding mower, and I loved it. Yeah, 3 crates.
Where do you keep that many buns? You don't have a freezer big enough for that, do you?
No, we ate those. We gave some to friends, but like I was working at a real estate company, and like I was telling you guys before we went online, like no one ever talked to me. I was just like at a desk doing admin stuff, but it got to the point where like brokers were like, "Hey man, by the way, I'm Ted. I know we've never spoken in the 8 months that you've been here, but like, what's up with these pork buns, kid?" And,
Pork bun Joe.
we ate pork buns for like a year. So many pork buns. That was my first weird job here. That was the summarized version of my experience with that guy.
Wow.
Yeah. Spencer, what's your other weird Fabio story?
Oh, weird Fabio story? He got hit by a duck on a roller coaster. That was sad.
That duck's name?
Steven Spielberg.
I know you guys have a few others in the tank. I do want to pause and say thank you guys for watching. I know this is just like a weird we hang out one, which some people say they enjoy and then some people skip altogether. I hope you're digging it. Hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you guys. We've got links for direct relief in the description. They are providing emergency medical equipment to first responders dealing with corona. Please share those links around. Read how you can get involved. We also have links in the description for how you can learn more about Black Lives Matter and how you can get involved actively in that movement beyond just tweeting about it, because it's important that you get active. So we've got links in the description to get you there. We did a Hey Fandom last week with Jason Blum of Blumhouse, and it was really, really cool. If you want to watch those, they're over on fandom.com. So there's a link in the description for that too. We pull all the highlights from those, that one, the Rob Paulson one. So those are all over on fandom.com. So if you miss them live, that's how you can watch those. Yeah, I think that's all the calling out. So that said, you guys got any other weird stuff? Any other weird tales in this industry?
They're not weird so much as they're just like sad.
Yeah, they all do sort of skirt the line between weird and sad.
Like, I quit a job I probably should have kept, but it's because I broke my finger on the second day, which was I was a PA on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and I broke my finger and I quit.
How'd you break your finger?
Another PA closed one of those like loading dock doors. Yeah, Guillermo closed one of those loading dock doors on my hand, like a very heavy one. And I spent the rest of the day in the hospital. And then this was like after I'd come in, like was really excited, like, oh, well, maybe I'll like be hanging out with the writers and doing stuff. And they were like, no, you're getting bagels at 4 a.m, literally 4 a.m. You pick them up and drop them off and set everything up. And this is going to be your life for 6 months. And then we'll talk about, whether you can do something else. So I was already on pretty shaky ground there. And then I broke my finger and said, no, I'm not coming back. I'm not doing this anymore, which was stupid because I would probably be Jimmy Kimmel at this point. But I think that I didn't know no better, and my hand really hurt, and I couldn't get that, and I was sick of waking up early
after one day.
Yep.
There's a weird alternate reality where we're doing an Honest Trailer commentary about Titanic with Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a weird one. I've talked about how on one of these shows before about pitching to Tyler Perry, pitching episode ideas to Tyler Perry, who is like in my brief interactions with him, super sweet, but he's got like a producer. His name's Ruben Cannon, and he's like
good name.
Yeah, great name. Who was, I think, like it wasn't like good cop bad cop, but he was definitely the one who was like, as I was pitching ideas, he was loading an imaginary shotgun and like he was gonna shoot it out of the air, like what if I didn't like make it better. But that was just fun. That was that was really cool. Was going into Perryland and
you've been on the weird lot, right? You've
not
been,
the
like,
latest weird. This is like the first weird lot.
Okay.
Now it's like an even bigger.
Okay.
Delta hangar or something like that. But he still had like an enormous complex in Atlanta. And I think obviously because I was involved was just looking for like cheap writers and
Sure.
and would fly us out to like, they literally had like a worksheet to like fill in plots for those sitcoms. So you just fill in your worksheets and then present them.
That's kind of awesome.
Sometimes they were good. Sometimes they got shot out of the air
by Ruben.
Yeah.
Billy, did you ever meet Ruben on the Wizard World circuit?
Yeah, he was definitely there. No, I never got to meet Ruben. I don't know. The thing is, the best stories are the ones you can't tell. You know, those are the ones that it's like, or you have to leave the name out, and then the story's not really that funny because who the person you're telling it about is. I think I've told the William H. Macy story too many times for it to really.
It's so good.
It is a good story, though.
I mean, do I just tell it one last time?
I think, and then we can
just the abbreviated version.
And then we can shotgun it out of the air.
Yeah.
Right. There's a thing called TCAs. It's basically where all the new TV shows go to hotel rooms and they go room to room, basically talking to different outlets. It was Joey from Friends, was doing some Showtime show. And I was sitting in the room as a PA, and lunch was not agreeing with me. I was just taking notes, but I was like sweating, trying to hold in a fart so hard. You know, when you're just like, you're like, to try to cover up like the holding it in. And just for whatever reason in my brain, I was like, whatever I do in this life or the next, I cannot fart in front of Joey from Friends. Like that is just something that will follow me.
He'd probably think it was funny.
I don't know.
You gotta fart in front of any celebrity.
Yeah,
Matt LeBlanc's up there.
He seems to me like of all the Friends, the ones that is like the least like his character, I guess. Like, look, I met him for 35 seconds while he walked into the room, so he could be but he just, very matter of fact. I'm just like, I didn't work there for that long at that point. But anyways, I was like,
you hadn't broken the fart barrier at your job.
Oh God, no, not even close. Like I was only there for like 7 months at this point, like, pretty early in the relationship. But that was back in the day where you shot on tapes instead of cards. So we had to stop and change the tape. So I went outside the room. I was like, oh, thank God, like finally. So I went outside the room, and those hallways are pretty empty because everyone's doing interviews. I'm not talking like a one cheek squeak. This was like a grundle rumble. This was like a, and I was just like, like this was like comically like just rumbly, like whatever was in me, it was like a demon being exorcised out of me. And I was just like, and I look over to my left, and there's William H. Macy on the phone, and he's just staring at me, and he goes, yeah, sorry, yeah. I was like, damn it. Like, I thought the coast was clear, and I traded William H. Macy for Joey from Friends, and it was like, I'm sure if they had rolled tape, you probably would have heard a little faint hiss of it on the tape inside the room.
Oh my God. Of course it was William H. Macy, though. There's no celebrity with a more farted on demeanor than William H. Macy. Life has farted upon him.
I got one for you. This is when I was still in the Warner lot. They used to do a farmer's market on the lot, and I was walking through it. I had to drop off like a contract or something at another building, and side note, that's if you ever like come visit, you should do that tour. It's just cool to go through the Warner back lot. So I was walking through the lot, and it's just always so weird and surreal because you hang a left and you walk by a tank because that's what they're filming in that hangar that day, and then you hang a right and there's a farmer's market. When you're at a farmer's market, it's just like an artist alley at a con. Like everyone's making eye contact for you so they can like start their pitch and get you. And I was doing my best to just like get through, and I made the mistake of stopping to look at something because then the guy in the next thing was like, hey man, do you like almond butter? And I was like, Yes, dang it. And so he wrangles me and then a gentleman that was behind me over, and goes into his almond butter pitch and gives us samples, and we're like, good, just being very polite and do the samples, and he's, I think he realized we were not going to spend $50 on a jar of homegrown almond butter. And he's like, well, guys, have a good one, and sort of moves on to the next person. And just sort of being a smartass to the other guy that was with me, I was like, I don't know how the day gets any better than almond butter. And he goes, it probably doesn't. And it was William H. Macy.
That man was William H. Macy.
Just with the most William H. Macy sigh, like, it probably doesn't.
Did he know that his wife was cheating to get their kid into school at this point, I wonder?
Yeah, he had to just write a 40 grand check to some fake, to make like fake rowing photos for his
like
kid.
In hindsight, I feel like I did some vigilante justice towards William H. Macy back in the day. I feel like he deserved every square inch of that fart.
He deserved that fart.
It is a fartable offense for sure.
At least a fartable offense.
That's a civil settlement there.
No, I think that's completely fair. Oh, William H. Macy, we did it. I think we've told some weird stories, boys.
Sure. Many more that we can't say.
We'll do a part 2 someday.
Yeah, we'll do a part 2. I got a
more.
few others. But we'll do a part 2 of this at some point soon. Something we did want to follow up on was, look, it's Monday now. We're pre-taping this on Friday. So this story has probably reversed course again already. But AMC Theaters, this is Viva Variety, AMC Theaters had announced that, they're going to reopen, and here's all the things we're going to do to prevent the coronavirus. And also, you don't have to wear a mask. And because they didn't want to get political. And, of course, the world was like, that's dumb. And it didn't take long. I kind of expected this today. They've already caved, and they're like, okay, masks, because science. Because rightfully so, the world doesn't want to get... Look, I love both of you, but when we go see Tenet, I don't want your droplets on me. I just
no
don't.
droplets. No way.
It's
so insane. Like, there's always a coughing person at every movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think if there are 2 people in the theater, one of them is coughing. Yeah. And it's always at the worst moments. It's always like in a quiet part or over a punchline or something like that. Somebody in a theater is like,
yeah. I don't want your mouth guy near me right now.
There's a weird guy who comes in with bags, and you're like, why are you bringing bags into the movie theater? There's that person. There's teenagers. What other movie theater types are there that are in every showing?
There's the parents that brought like their 7 4-year-olds to Tenet.
Yeah.
That ruined Mission Impossible Fallout for me. It was this woman who brought her like 4-year-old kid, and the kid was just running back and forth.
There's a kid running down the aisles because the parents wanted a night out, but they didn't get a babysitter. Kid running. For sure.
The like really cool baller dude that's just like texting. He's just doing like this somehow, just like texting the whole time. Just a room full of people who I have no interest in their opinion on how to stay healthy in this period. At all.
I feel like you just resold me on why, like, I don't really need movie theaters to come back. So I'm kind of over it, honestly. Like I'm not as purist and traditional as a lot of people seem to be, especially on this channel. Like, I was perfectly fine watching like Invisible Man in my living room. I feel like it hit emotionally just as hard at home than it would.
But I feel like you know, and you'll give us a tour someday. I feel like you've got like a serious man cave if you're not currently broadcasting from it. I feel like you've recreated the theater experience in your home. If that is that a Kiss bass behind you?
It is. It's the Gene Simmons axe bass and a John Lennon Casino guitar.
And I will say the mirror gives it a nice illusion that the room necks out and there's a couch way in the back in like another part of the room.
Right, that's the screening room.
This is just
that's the screening room.
There you go.
Oh, look at that Indiana Jones poster. Oh, that's nice.
I mean, I know you do. So you do the podcast with Ed Greer, right? Of rebooting it, right?
Yeah.
But how do you not have just like a YouTube channel where you just stand in front of a big stack of your DVDs and talk about Captain Marvel sucking?
Honestly, I feel like if
it's like either that or becoming an Uber driver if this doesn't work out. I will Postmates and 4chan.
Yeah. What is the mathematical correlation between number of Funkos and issues with wokeness? How do we quantify that? But yeah, I'm curious to see how this story develops on Monday. Will they make masks optional? I don't know.
Will they pivot again? Yeah, I mean, it's easy to. You just got to figure, like, if you're gonna say anything, especially on the internet, some faction is going to yell at you, and you just have to pick which side you're fine being yelled at by.
Yeah.
So you just don't have an option. You can't ride the middle anymore. And you're going to get yelled at no matter what.
I got to go with Bill Burr here, where he was just like, don't sit in front of an American flag smoking a cigarette and you've never taken a medical course in your life and tell me I shouldn't wear a mask in public. Like, I think that he was like, I listen to the CDC once a week, mask, no mask, I wear a mask. I agree with you though, Billy. I'm not worried about theaters. I think AMC's all have plenty of parking lots. Roll out a big blow-up screen that you used to buy in Sky Mall, and cool. We can old school drive-in movie theater in the AMC parking lot. I'm fine with that.
I would love that if we'd really bring back drive-ins.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, you can bulldoze a few malls and give me a cool drive-in.
Just like until there's a vaccine, I don't see myself even contemplating going back to a movie. So it's like, was it Wonder Woman's October, November now? Like, not going to happen. Like, I'm just not going to do it. There's literally not a single movie that could come out that would force me to take the risk to go back out again.
Honestly, the smartest play Tenet can make right now, if they're not going to move it, and apparently they're not because Nolan's really stuck on it opening in July, like, give us Tenet branded Christopher Nolan scarves that we can wrap around our face.
Like a Tom Hardy mask collection.
Exactly.
Also, like, all these theaters are gross. Like,
they're gross places.
They're just gross, and they were gross when I didn't worry about catching a virus. Like, they were just like sticky and nasty, and I always somehow chose the seat where something was broken on it. Like, I'm just
it's not so much a gross issue for me as it is like, when has AMC ever enforced like, anything at their theaters? Like, people are always on their phones and talking, and like the sound goes out and it runs for 40 minutes. It's like they're not on it enough in the first place to be like, excuse me, sir, wear a mask. No.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Like, because now, even if they're like masks required, I'm still not going to go because no shade on the kid, but the 15-year-old in charge of being like, sir, you gotta wear a mask. Like, that's too much pressure to put on that kid. Like, he's just there because his dad was like, if you want a car, you gotta get a job. And like, that kid shouldn't have to enforce like health code.
We should, if they do a mask thing, they should sell like masks with like bags of popcorn attached to them, like hands free. So it's just like,
you just lean back.
So it's just surrounding your face, and you just kind of eat your way out.
I love it. I think that is our AMC solution.
Just now that I'm just thinking about it, just like all those employees who literally just stick their arms in the popcorn and scoop it out, like, all of it sounds terrible. Yeah, it's like ground zero for coronavirus as a movie theater.
Yeah, there's something especially about a movie theater where like I can, with the sticky floors, where now I can feel the COVID against my shoes as I walk, that I'm not.
I would just be like, even if I was like, all right, fine, I will chance it. The whole movie, I would just be so paranoid about touching something or touching my face or anything. I don't even think I'd be able to like pay attention and enjoy whatever I was watching. Yeah. I don't know, like, I'm not sure what Christopher Nolan's like deal is about having it right now. Like, if your movie's good, just hang on to it when people can see it. Why does it have to be
the sad thing is, like, these films are global releases, and like other countries have, not all but eliminated it, but like there are going to be places that'll be where you can go and do what you want before the United States.
Yeah, no, the YouTubers in New Zealand with the Funko wall are gonna just crush it with the Tenet reviews here in a couple weeks because they're going to be the only ones safe to go see it.
Tenet. Have you seen Tenet?
Sorry, now I'm just thinking of other gross. Oh, well, like at some point in a 3-hour movie, I'm going to sneeze or something.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to have
Everyone's
that
gonna
sneeze in
scatter.
my mask.
Is it 3 hours?
It's gotta
Probably.
be.
It's a Christopher Nolan movie. It's long,
I think you have to take. Yeah, they give you a notepad and a chart so you can follow what's going on.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to do my chart while dealing with just having like just that mouth atmosphere for 3 hours in my mask. Like
Breathe in your own hot breath.
Yeah, I don't want that. That's gonna turn me into an Orange County Karen. I don't want that. I don't want to turn into that lady.
The one that's like, I am not a sex slave. I am an American. Did you not see that video?
No, I try not to.
It's amazing. This woman went to like a city council thing and she brought like a 8th grade science fair poster board of how she's an American and she's not a sex slave and she refuses to wear a mask.
You got to watch it. And I think on that note, boys, Spencer, go watch that video. And the rest of you have a great Monday. Oh, wait, we did shoot. Sorry. I just cut us out. Ian Holm, man. Now I feel like an asshole. Oh, wait, we can't end the show. We got to talk about Ian Holm. Sorry. Yeah, let's do back up and just a few minutes on Ian Holm before we get out of here. That guy was so versatile. Because I know a lot of people know him as Bilbo. A lot of people remember from Alien. But then even like you throw Fifth Element and all of the rest of his filmography in there. That guy could do everything. Father Cornelius in Fifth Element is so fun and slapsticky, like a slapstick Jedi. Like that shouldn't work, but he kills it. It's so good.
Yeah, I love him. He could project so much anxious energy and rage and all this. He could really project beyond his physical stature because he's a pretty slim, small guy. But like watch him in Brazil. And just tell me that he's not like he's a ball of energy, and he'll definitely be missed. He was always a delight to see him on screen.
Yeah, I mean, as I'm wearing my Lord of the Rings shirt, I think in the beginning of such like a crazy movie with like Fellowship of the Ring, where there's just so much happening, so much exposition, he just does this masterful job in the first half hour of like. You love this guy. He feels familiar like your grandpa, but he can instantly on a dime switch to be like, something's not right. He sets the tone for what that ring is going to do to everyone else for the rest of these films. And he does it so beautifully. And I think had he not given the performance he did, maybe the ring wouldn't seem so sinister. Because when you think about it, there's no on-screen real villain in that whole movie. Yeah. Everyone's afraid of a little, piece of metal for the whole thing. So to sell that in the way that he did, like that kind of just shows to me what kind of actor what he was capable of.
Yeah. Hell of a life, really hell of a career. Please make sure if open his IMDb, go like this, pick a movie of his that you haven't watched yet. Do yourself a favor. And you'll have a real good time. He was an incredible actor.
Chariots of Fire, legend.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolute legend.
Start from the beginning. Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you for talking about some weird stuff with me, some real stuff with me, some sad stuff with me. That's the SJU promise, is our weird ability to somehow do all of those things at once and also tell fart stories. Thanks, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.